People in business often get distracted by the noise of the day-to-day, and by losing focus on what the overall objective is means that actually performance will suffer. The one thing that sports and business people have in common is that both of them have to deliver performance under pressure. In order to do so, they need to focus themselves on the right things, the things that will make the biggest difference.
Being clear-headed in pressurized situations is critical to superior performance. Whether you are trying to close a deal, grow a business, or win an Olympic medal.
When we're in a pressurized situation, the pressure of performance, the level of expectation, means that sometimes we lose sight of the things that we really should be focused upon, which is essentially the process. You have no control of the actual outcome, but if you focus on the process, then you're much more likely to achieve what you've set out to do.
Champions recognize that if they fail to prepare, they prepare to fail. They see preparation and practice as an investment that pays dividends in competition. Not only does it build competence, but it builds confidence and consistency. The champions I spoke to always had a plan B and maybe a plan C. They plan for different scenarios because, as Matthew Pinsent says, as soon as you're caught by surprise by something, you're in trouble.
Clive Woodward believes that what distinguishes champions is the ability to think correctly under pressure. And of course, these athletes use various techniques in order to do that. Johnny Wilkinson, for example, is not just aiming at the rugby posts when he's kicking. He's aiming at a person he describes as Doris. He actually narrows his focus in order to shut out the pressure of expectation, the noise of the crowd, the importance of the occasion.
Doris is a middle-aged woman who goes to every rugby game and sits at the epicenter of the posts. Doris always goes along encumbered by hat, by handbag, by coat. And she always has lots of food on her lap. It might be a hamburger, he might have a can of Coke. So when he's looking up, clasping his hands, he's not aiming between the posts. He's aiming at the letter O on the Coca-Cola can in her hand. Because by focusing his attention on Doris, blots out all the distractions that might impact his performance. A few years ago, I spoke at the UK Sport World Class Coaching Conference, and the speaker before me was Dr. Steve Peters. Dr. Steve Peters is the psychologist to the British cycling team. And he says there's three key components to delivering performance under pressure. The first thing you must do is give your people control. That doesn't mean you give them the keys to the asylum. It means that you focus them on only the things they can control. And the only things they can control are the process, not the outcome. You make it absolutely clear what they need to do through some form of KPI, key performance indicator. And then through training and coaching, you create in them a total confidence that they can achieve what they set out to do. And by creating this pressureless environment, people are focused only on the things that they can control.
There's lots of research to show that companies fail to achieve their objectives because they try to do too much. These are companies that have 6, 8, 10, 12 priorities. Those organizations that narrow their focus on no more than 3 core priorities have a much greater chance of successful execution.
And therefore, if you are going to narrow your focus to do less, your most important decision might be what you're not going to do in 2016 that might become a priority for you in 2017. The excellence of the individual will never sustain long-term performance. When Lewis Hamilton became world champion for the first time for McLaren back in 2008, he had the help of some 260 people. Designers, testing engineers, computer analysts. Now, what Ron Dennis says, if you want to achieve peak performance, you have to have one team. Not a first-class team and a second-class team. And when he said that to me, I thought almost every single one of my clients has a first-class team and a second-class team. So in your business, do you work in silos? Do you work in the first-class team or the second-class team? Or do you work in one team? Champions don't have bigger dreams than us. But they do make better plans. They focus their attention on only the things they can control, the process. In pressurized situations, they remain clear-headed and they make the correct decisions. They don't allow themselves to get distracted or diverted. And by choosing a winning attitude, they achieve some quite extraordinary things.